Medabots, the early 2000s cult classic, is coming back to the modern day with an all-new card game for the Nintendo Switch. Only in Japan for now, but hey, that's some pretty good news. A new card game is always something you get a bit excited about after all, and on Nintendo Switch no less. So today I'm going to go over everything that Medabots Card Robattle RB is going to be able to offer to us, the very unique mechanics of this game, and the current potential ways to get a pre-order and get a copy. Then ask a question if there is any chance that we are going to get this game in English. So without further ado, let's go. This is going to be a two-player versus card simulator, in the same vein as Yu-Gi-Oh! Championships. So you'll be able to go against each other in head-to-head combat, either online or locally. And we'll also have a tutorial to make sure that you have a good time learning this game. We'll have to see how well that tutorial goes, but for now, I hope it kind of teaches you how to play the game in depth, with the basic mechanics being necessary and the more advanced stuff being a bit more optional, or for when you unlock certain decks when you use them. Will this happen? Probably not, that's going a bit above and beyond, but I would like for that to be the case. We also have confirmation on two different modes, one being a roguelike game called the Robattle Tower, with the standard easy, medium, and hard mode, but also an endless mode. And with games like Slay the Spire, Balatro, and Inscription being super popular, this feels like a very calculated move on trying to increase the runtime of the game. There is one more mode to talk about, which is Robattle Challenge. This is where you'll be facing off against various meta battlers in the game. I assume this is what the story mode is going to be about, but unfortunately, as far as I can tell, we've not got any confirmation. There are also two different versions for this game, the Medabi version and a Shuko version, which will affect your starting deck and card pool. I think these are here to fix a fairly unique problem with the trading card game sims that don't really get to be addressed often. The social trading portion. A lot of TCG simulators don't have a trading system within them, the closest one being a Pokemon Pocket. However, it seems like Medabot took inspiration from their mainline games, making it so that you can't get all the cards in the game without interacting with the opponent in some way, specifically through the new versus battle mode, working somewhat like a general anti-system without any of the risk of actually losing your cards and all of the perks of gaining them. This allows Medabot Card Robattle RB to have a versus system unlike any other card in this card sim space, and lets casual players have a reason to go into versus mode, which normally wouldn't happen as much if you aren't just going competitively. The card game itself looks pretty interesting too, despite the lack of gameplay shown. The field format looks a lot like Cardfight Vanguard, with a lot of front and back row cards. However, there are a lot of differences when you start looking at the field itself. It seems like there's only room for 3 Medabots on any given field. 2 Medabots and a Medabot leader with gear attached to the left and right side of said leader. There are also 2 slots on the side to indicate where spells will be placed, set down, and used, and something of a set prize zone on the bottom right hand corner. Given the 3 attacks I've seen from this trailer, I think the way that this game was going to work is that your main goal is to overpower the leader, and when you do, the opponent loses or you gain a prize card. And if you collect or remove all of them, depending on how the game attributes winning, you'd win the game. These are different types too, like gun and fighting decks, so I'd expect type advantage to be pretty important as well. This is also supported by a mechanic mentioned by Nintendo Everything that I haven't been able to mention yet: fields. Depending on what field you're on, your Medabots will get a huge boost. Depending on what mode you select, you'll either have the field selected randomly in Robattle Tower, depending on the battle in Robattle Challenge, and I'm not 100% sure exactly how in the versus mode, but I would figure that it will be chosen, or that it would be something similar to a coin flip. But enough about that. I've been talking a lot about what we learned about the game itself from this announcement, but What can Americans even get it? Well, it's not a lot, but there is a non-zero chance. While the most recent mainline game came out in about 2015 with Medarot 9, the mobile game called Medabot Survivors was recently updated a few days ago. That not only is going to be available in English, but is currently available in Japanese as well. However, regardless, even with the fact that we may not get this thing in English, it is accessible from Amazon Japan, and the Switch is not a region locked system. So if you get this cartridge, you'll be able to go over and play the game regardless. However, Amazon Japan does have two exclusive versions for this game. The Amazon exclusive versions include two medals, Medabot and Rokusho, for the same price as the normal DX version, at about 17,600 yen, which, given the Amazon pricing, is about 117.56 USD, not including shipping. The second version is the deluxe edition, but in addition, you'll also get the Homerian Sentai original illustration 3-layer acrylic frame. That one was gonna go around for 26,400 yen, or 176.34 USD. Do keep in mind that these things also include multiple benefits when you get the deluxe edition, including a deluxe box to be able to keep your game and cards, a version of either the Medabot or Rokusho versions of this game, a complete card book featuring art of all of the cards within the game, as well as a set for the game itself, including 2 decks that you can have and play with your friends, markers, and a field that is reminiscent of the game that is within the game itself. Also, a CD. That's everything that's known currently about the game so far, but let me know what you think. If you like the Medabot franchise, do you think that a card game is an interesting change of pace for the usual formula? And if you don't know anything about Medabots, do you think that this game is enough to get you interested in the franchise? Also, let me know if you want to see the cards roughly translated, as some of the info I have gathered on this game is from translating a few of the cards. But until then, I hope to see you guys real soon.